So guys, in this video, this is just for fun, the Freddie Mercury guy, I made this for print, and I have it printed around here somewhere. But the thing is that I will show you maybe the print a little bit later in this video. This video is about speeding up our workflow in Zbrush. Either you're a beginner or intermediate user, something like that, yeah? You probably are a little bit slow. So after you did this, what I show you in this video, I will guarantee you that you will be, especially when you get used to those shortcuts and everything, you will be twice as fast. And I will not show you only how you can make my kind of interface that I work with, but you can customize your own. I will show you how to customize Zbrush, basically. So let's start. First, what you want to do is go to Preference tab and dock it here or in the other side, doesn't matter. Then we'll go to Preferences, Config, and Enable Customize. Let's do this. Enable Customize. When we enable Customize, Zbrush will allow us to move every and each element from the UI, from the user interface here, with Ctrl-Alt pressed. So press Ctrl-Alt and drag this and put it here. Enable Customize. Also press Ctrl-Alt, drag Store Config here. It will be much easier if we have those buttons here, because it will allow us to easily enable and disable Customize and just work very easily. I always keep those buttons there. If you see in my other tutorials, you will notice that those buttons are always there. Of course, Enable Customize is most of the time turned off. But now we will turn it on, because we want to put first, and very much most important, we want to put our most used brushes here. I will put my most used brushes, and you can put your own. It's up to you. So first, what we want to do is go to, just enable this, go to brush and dock it here. And now you can notice that we will be able to drag only those small. We'll be able to drag this, but we don't. We are not going to use it because it's too big. So we have to drag those small things. When you press B, you will get the brushes menu. But from here you cannot drag them. You have to drag them from this place. If you don't have the brush here, what you have to do is the following thing. You have to go B, and for example, we want the standard brush is there, but I will show you how to. You have to S and select it from here. Once you have selected it here as your active brush, now in this session, it will appear here in those brushes also. So that's the way you can show the brush here. And then we will Ctrl-Alt drag standard brush here. But you will notice that this brush is too wide. I don't want that. So we go to Preferences and we go to, I think, Interface, yes. And press white buttons to turn it off. So now the button is the perfect size. So what else I wanted to show you is the button's size here. It's 38 in my Zbrush because I've lowered it. It's the lowest value is 38. So in your Zbrush probably this value is around 42 or something like that. This is the default value. So if you want your buttons to be small and all your icons to be smaller, you just put this. And I want that because I want more space. I want more space in order to work better. Okay. So I want more space for my works. Zbrush, thank you. Don't need to save this project file because it's just a work in progress. So, okay. See the hairs under the armpit? Okay. Yeah, let's concentrate on this. Standard brush is first. The second brush I always put is the clay tubes brush. The third brush I put is pinch brush. So let's find the pinch brush. Yes, it's here. And when I press Alt and Control, you see this is changing here because it thinks that I wanna make masks or something, but it's not that. I just press Alt Control to put those things here. So the fourth brush is the most important brush, maybe the move brush. The fifth brush is high polish. The sixth is the inflate brush. Okay. The seventh is the damn standard brush, very important brush. And if you want to find some brush, you just have to go B, for example, down standard, D, because it starts with D, down standard, and then you find it here, of course, very easy. And then it will appear here, and you can drag it down. So it's 7. The 8th brush I will choose is Z-modeler brush, and the 9th brush will be orb cracks, which I don't think is in the... So if you, for example, do this, let me show you, and one of your brushes goes down a little bit, you cannot put it up just like this. You can, but the most easier thing is just drag it here, drop it on the canvas, it will disappear, and redrag it again more carefully. So that's it about brushes. We'll make also shortcuts, so don't go anywhere. First, that was first. Second thing we want to do is what? We want to put some materials here. So let's go to the material window and dock it here. So first material we again will choose from these smaller icons here. We want to have the basic material here, and I will separate them. I don't want them to be close to each other because I want to be able to choose materials from here and my brushes from here. I rarely press here, only for Z-modeler brush probably, and for orb cracks, but most of the time I don't touch here, I use only the shortcuts, but materials I don't have shortcuts for. So yeah, basic material, toy plastic. If you want some material to appear here, again you have to click here, open the material window, and just choose this material. For example, here we don't have metal material, so I will go here and go metal 1, and it will be here. It appeared, so I will push it here. So basic, toy plastic, metal material, and then probably skin material, why not? So we'll have all those 4 materials, and you can put even more, but these are the materials that I use the most. So I put them here. Now we have those materials, and the other thing I want to push here down is one more brush, which was the trim dynamic brush, but it's not here, you notice. So I go like this, B, T, trim dynamic, I select it, now it has appeared here, trim dynamic, and I just drop it. Okay, trim dynamic, drop it here. I like it to be a little bit more separated because I don't assign a shortcut for it, and I always select it manually because I use it not that often. Yeah, that's just my preference. The other thing I want to put here in the bottom is the mirror. I use it very much, a lot, so we go to Z plugin, transpose master, no, subtool master, and then we just Control Alt, get the mirror and put it here. From this transpose master, or not transpose master, but subtool master, I use only mirror, so I only put the mirror there. That's cool. The next thing we want to do is very important. We want to rearrange a little bit those buttons here, those here. So for example, this move, scale and rotate, I use W, E and R, and these days we rarely use move, scale and rotate because it's the same, it's this pivot. So we don't need to know where we are, we just need to see the pivot here. So I do just this. Then I go here and put those buttons a little bit in this direction. And yeah, those buttons are pretty much needed. So I will just rearrange them a little bit. And then here we'll put a very important button with which we just fill the object. So we go to brush, not brush, color, and get fill object, Control Alt and drag it here. Fill object, pretty important thing, we have to be careful about it. So fill object here. So now we can disable customize and store config. And now master configuration will be saved. If you restart ZBrush, you will have all those brushes here. You can always, of course, go ahead and save your file by Save UI. It will be saved, and then you can open it wherever you go, at work or in some other computer. You just have to bring this file and just load it with this button here. So we will enable customize again because we want to do some other stuff, and I will just go and show you the figure of Freddie Mercury, and we'll continue to customize our interface. So here's the Freddie Mercury figure. It's the same as you see in the screen, but it's not colored. It's just a black and white, or not black and white, but the resin that it was printed with, and yeah, and the resin is black. So yeah, basically that's the thing, and let's continue with our customization of Zbrush. The next thing we want to do is put some other buttons here because we need to do it. First we want to do is just make sure this is out of the way because we don't need it here. Then this we don't need it, and focus shift and draw size we need it, but we'll put them there. The next we want to do is put here mirror and weld because it's pretty much needed, and we will put some things from the geometry menu here. First thing, we will go to the geometry menu, modify topology, will open. So the geometry menu is like this. You open it. Where are we? Okay, now you see I have this option on, which is only one subtool is open. So I have to go to the preference tab and find where is this option. And this is, I'm not prepared for this because I'm not sure where it was, but I will have to find it. Palettes, one open subpalette and disable it. Okay, it's in the interface of preferences, interface, palettes, and then one open subpalette, just disable it, and now we'll be able to have more subpalettes opened, which is nice. And now we'll open geometry, and this will not close, which is cool. Then modify topology. Yeah, I know it sounds a little bit complicated, but it's not. Mirror and weld, we'll put it here. It's pretty important. Then we'll put something from here, weld points, pretty important also. I like to have it around here. And the weld distance, but I would like to weld points and weld distance below it. And here I will put, from transform, I will put some things which in my opinion are pretty important. The activate symmetry button is X, so I don't put it there. I always use the shortcut. And if I want to find out, yeah, I'm alt control dragging all those things here. If I want to find out if I have symmetry or not, I just watch those buttons here and see if they are lightened up or not. If they light, so I will press X now, X, and you'll see they lighten up, so I have symmetry. If not, I don't have symmetry. That's simple. Okay. Next thing I want to do, I don't want to separate those. Next thing I want to do is put here the lazy mouse, but it's not exactly necessary, but let's put it. It's in transform, or no, it was in stroke, lazy mouse here, and in stroke, lazy mouse, lazy step, or lazy radius. Lazy radius I think would be nice. You cannot, for example, if you drag something from here, it will not disappear. In the menus, everything stays. But in the UI, in your interface, you can get rid of some stuff, but you have to be very careful with this, because if you, for example, get this perspective button and put it here, and you will lose it, and now where is this button? Yeah, I know it's in the draw menu, and you can drag it back, but you'll have to find it if you lose it. So it's not, ooh, the hands, I realized they're metal. Okay, so let's continue. We have a little bit more time, and we are almost ready with this. So let's get the lights menu here. I always like to have my lights here, very much in front of me. So I'll put this 4 lights. I'll put the 4 lights exactly in the order they are there. It's not mandatory, but I like to do it. Intensity, color of the light, ambient, important, and very important, oops, you can rename some stuff. Shadow of the light. For example, this light doesn't have shadow, this light has shadows. Then we will store config, everything will be stored. And next thing we want to do, and the last probably, is the Shortcuts. So, to make a shortcut for any item in Zbrush, you just have to disable customize. It's counterintuitive, I know, but it's not customizing, it's just shortcuts. So it's very easy. You go to the interface item. For example, this one is the standard brush. I will put this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 buttons on the keyboard. So first I will Control-Alt-Click on it, and you will notice at the top left corner, please press any combination to assign and stuff like this. So I'll press just one. But your mouse should be in the item. You should remain there, because if you press Control-Alt and click and then remove the mouse, the operation is cancelled. So you have to stay there. So Control-Alt-Click 2, Control-Click 3, Control-Click 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are 1, 2, and you can see them now in the pop-up. You can see the shortcuts. BPR, I like to press Shift Q, not Shift R. So Control-Alt-Click, Shift Q, and then it's Shift Q. Other thing I like to do is Save As. Control S is assigned to File, Save As. You can see there, shortcut Control S. I don't like that. I rarely save project. I always save tools. So Control-Alt-Click, and Control S. And now Control S is for this. For the document, I like to save sometimes images. So for export image, I like the same shortcut as in Photoshop for Save for Web. So Control-Alt-Click, and then Control-Alt-Shift-S. And you can see Alt-Control-Shift-S is the shortcut there. And yeah, you can have some more shortcuts. I'm not sure that I remember everything that I do, obviously. But the thing is that when you work, you will press just 1, 2, 3. And if you remember your keys, you have to just spend a little bit of time to remember the keys and just practice. You will be able to work a lot faster, maybe 2 times faster, even more. And yeah, I think we have covered everything. Maybe I will do sometimes maybe I will do a video about how I make a custom menu, where I put a lot more not recently, but most recent used items from Zbrush. For example, in the geometry, del hidden, close holes, Dynamesh I use a lot, zero measure, and I put all those things in one separate menu that I Control-Shift-Alt-A, and the menu come out. Now it's not here because I've reset Zbrush in order to show you all of this. But yeah, that's it. And yeah, only for 20 minutes. You have to look at this video for 20 minutes, and then it will take you like 20 minutes to make this. So if you spend this kind of time, less than an hour, and now it will save you a lot of time later. Just try it and say what you think down in the comments. Thank you for watching, as always. And bye. Let's look at this mouth. Ooh, big mouth, man. Yeah, big. Okay, bye. And just one last thing I forgot to mention is when you are ready with your interface, you have put all the things, or even if you put some of them, but you want to save it, you just go and press Store Config, and master configuration file has been saved. Okay, and your shortcuts will be saved, but the hotkeys won't be saved. They will be saved when you close Zbrush. It will ask you first whether when you save your project, like always, and then after that another window. Would you want to save the hotkeys? And you will say yes. And every time after that, when you open Zbrush, your shortcuts will be saved, your brushes will be saved, and everything will be just cool. So that was what I want to say at the end. Big mouth. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Who wants to live forever? Me. I don't know. Okay, bye.